entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Ready to vote.
All votes are in, motion carries unanimously.
Next on the agenda is public communications. We have no public communications, therefore I take a motion for disposition of business by consent.
Mr. President, I move the board approve the items of business by consent as presented and authorize the board president or superintendent to sign the special project and purchasing contracts for and on behalf of the board.
Any discussion? We told Mr. DeMayo, who's way back there, that we may pull the personnel report out, but we haven't.
Thank you.
I
think we should. I vote we did.
All votes are in, motion carries unanimously.
Top city's ratified.
Next on the agenda is superintendent.
Hi, on that note, we have a couple of items. We don't have highlights listed today, but we do want to acknowledge the highlight. This is a little bag with a photo in it. Mr. Goins, can you bring that photo up? Mr. DeMayo, can you come back in the room? So we actually had a bag and it has, which I put it down somewhere. I don't know if it's just me intentionally forgetting, but the pink starburst that I won't share with anyone. And he always teases. In fact, I brought him some today, but ate them before I got to his desk. We do actually have a bag
Wow.
of that, and we have a framed photo, and this is the photo
Oh,
at
thank
Highland
you.
Park Central. And there were two young people that
Awesome.
needed some extra special attention, and you happened to be in the building taking photos and things that day, dropping off bookmarks, and it's just a reminder of your impact.
Thank you.
Additionally, we have a plaque that we want to, a certificate that we want to give you, and just to thank you for your work. Any other board members that would like to make comments, feel free, and then we'd love to take a photo with you so you have a picture with the board that you have helped serve over the last year, and we want to be sure to give you the certificate which recognizes you for exemplary service.
Thank you.
Any
Mr. DeMayo, express appreciation for contributions to our, what we're trying to do for our students here at 501. We're greatly missed, but I hope to see you.
For sure.
around town.
I'm not, I can't remember when it was, which snow season it was, but my
Like
son
late in the day.
just started senior year to get high with me trying to figure out who the Twitter person was for the announcements. And I told him I didn't realize it was a secret. And, Dr. Anderson, no, you can't let him know because it's a secret. So thank you for your communicative skills and imagination and communicate to our parents and students.
Thank you.
Patrons in the district. Good luck to you in the future.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I just think that you made it really clear to all of us. I think Dr. Anderson always had the vision for the rest of us, particularly people like me. I mean, you know, the Twitter, I mean, for God's sake, I don't have a Twitter. I didn't know there was a secret Twitterer on staff. But what you have done for us in terms of the vitality of the communication items that we have out there, I felt has been impressive. I mean, I was impressed with the change on the graphics that we send out, or whether it's a calendar or whatever it is. Really made it clear to people like me that you have a really important role to play that we overlooked for many years. So thank you for helping people like me come to terms with modern age. Thank you.
I went to a meeting at another district, and they were very big on Twitter and Facebook, and mostly Twitter. So I came back, and that was maybe 2-3 years ago, and talked to Ms. Kruger, the superintendent at that time, and gave her that information that we need to look into social media. And under you guys, Kruger and her two hires who did this come forward so much, and we really appreciate it.
And so one of his title projects is the T-Calc flyer that's in front of you. He ran it up right before the meeting started. The picture made a change out with regard to the ribbon cutting that we'll talk about later. And additionally, as part of that communications team, anytime you have good team members, you end up with a great team. And under that same communications team, Mrs. Kruger has been acknowledged as well as a 20 under 40. And so with that whole team just doing some great things, we are excited. So I know you thought I was lying about the bags, so I ran down. Just so I make sure that you have those gifts as well as this photo frame. So Mr. DeMayo, we congratulate you and we thank you. For those that didn't know, Mr. DeMayo is opening his own business. He actually goes to Honduras next week for one of his clients, and he is one of his clients is the Trash Mountain Project. And we are so very proud to know that you are serving others in such a humble way. So thank you for your service here, and we wish you much success.
Thank you.
I know you like to be behind the camera. You had 7 people. Continuing with our first day updates, certainly the communications team has helped us get a running start with covering the photos, which you've already seen. We also have some administrators that are here. We'll start off with our National School of Character. I believe, do you have the news link from the first day to that one? If not, I'll send it to you to show up at the very end. And Dr. Gordon and her new staff member, her new administrator that is supporting her, will be coming up. Dr. Gordon will introduce him, and together they will give a little bit of an update about the first week at McClure.
Good evening, board members and community members and staff. I'm very happy to introduce you to Rayhan Wilkinson. He has joined us this year at McClure as our administrative intern. We are welcoming him from Kansas City and all of his experience, and we're just glad to have him.
Is the microphone
That's
on?
what I'm saying.
Good evening, board.
You may have to talk a little bit louder. Or you might just want to take the microphone and hold it. That way they might definitely hear you.
Good evening, board. My name is Rayhan Wilkinson, as Dr. Gordon introduced. That is my first year in Topeka as administrator. And at McClure Elementary, we've gotten off to a really good start. I'm really excited to be here, really excited to come to the school district, and really excited to be a part of such great ideas that are going on at McClure Elementary. She mentioned the news, and I don't know if you've seen it. I know Ms. Johnson was over at McClure on Tuesday helping us welcome kids, and we were a little worried that kind of fun was going to start off it was raining basically. We rolled out the red carpet, we had superhero stuff, we made this cardboard telephone booths and go in as Clark Kent and come out as, super little boys and girls on the other side and just learning. But it went off without a hitch and got even better because we were out there with umbrellas escorting students and parents into the building. I really think they felt welcome. There were still smiles on their faces. So far we've got off. So it's a really wonderful start. Because I'm new to the building, I've been around to classrooms introducing myself and saying, hey, how you doing? My name is Mr. Wilkinson. I'm safe, so you see me in front of the building or in the playground. I'm an okay person. I have a badge. Be nervous or work. And the kids have welcomed me warmly, as the staff has welcomed me. And I'm just really excited about what we have going on. We're increasing the community of the building as we reinforce our PBIS and our character counts, using kind of a house system pulling together smaller communities in the village so they look like they're part of the family, make sure no one's missed. And as I've stopped in some of those classrooms so far, I've had classroom greeters come up and greet me and say, hello, how you doing? Welcome to our class. One class had such great energy. I asked her, can I get their attention? So I'm here for, like 30 seconds to introduce myself. And she had this call and response attention getting. And you could just feel the energy in class with all eyes. They're like, yes, yes. And they're like, she's like, class. They're like, yes, yes. They're all straightforward folks and attention. You just feel the energy right there, ready to learn, happy to be there, and just looking forward to how much better that's going to be. Officially kick off to our house system in about 2.5 weeks. So just kind of looking forward to that and happy to be a part of it.
Thank you, Mr. Wilkinson. And Dr. Gordon, how many students do you have? And is there anything else that you're excited about or in general that you want to share with the board? And we'll open it up to questions.
We had 300 students, down just a little bit from last year. We had 310 last year. But we probably will get those 10 more before the year's over with. So we're just excited and looking forward to that. Staff's done a great job. We kicked it off with a book study by Ron Clark, Move Your Bus. And so we are really feeling like we're propelling forward. So any questions?
Just a question out of curiosity. You said he was from Kansas City?
Yes,
Who are your
yes. Kansas City, Kansas, sir.
That's a place to be from. Born and raised.
We definitely want to welcome you both back to the boardroom and welcome you to Topeka Public Schools. Just as you said, you felt the energy on the first day of school and the excitement. And I really appreciated seeing you all walking them in from the buses, considering the rain and how confusing that could be. You did feel like they felt welcome there. And so I appreciate the start. I mean, it's always an exciting day for us as board members to go, but just to see that community that was already there. Look forward to the coming year.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much.
Audio, so we'll close that out and then get ready to go on to the very next school. But the link will be in the community news, it's on our webpage, and we are excited about the start at McCourt and all of our elementary schools. With that, we're going to go to another elementary school, one of our new language schools, where not a brand new principal, but new as principal to Scott, Dr. Mejia. Will you please come forward?
Good evening, Dr. Anderson, board members, and community members. I am thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me. So this evening I'm here to share just a couple of things. Our enrollment as of today is 453 without the preschoolers, and we are expecting about 74 for little ones next Thursday. Cannot wait. Just a plug on the preschool teachers. I don't know how they do it, but they get them going from day one like they've been in school for their entire life. So the total enrollment expected is 527. Some of the things that I'm excited about this year are already that are going well, our procedures and expectations. We have what we call our Panther Passport, where we have students situated in different parts, common areas of the school, and different staff members teach the ROAR, that's our PBIS acronym, for Scott, because Panthers, So, and it stands for Respectful, Outstanding Citizens, Active Learners, and Responsible. So we teach our ROAR of the common areas to the whole school, so we make sure we have the common message for everyone. And already the students, even the little ones who have not been there at Scott, new kindergartners coming in, if they were not part of the program in preschool, they already got it, they know it, they show it. So we're rewarding with Panther Pays and a whole class with recognition with their, I forget what they're called right now, but I'll tell you in a minute. It's going really well. It's amazing how well they remember. The older grades are modeling for the little ones. So that is going wonderfully. The new staff is amazing. The positive energy in the school is overwhelming. We had Aurora Assembly the first day to show what that looks like, and, procedures, expectations. Our motto this year is our hashtag, as a team we beam, and I tell you, as a team, we have come together. Everything we have noticed this day that we could improve the next day, we have come together and we have made slight improvements. And so every day has been better. I know it's only day 3, but everything is going wonderfully. We have had some challenges with construction, but nothing that has put a damper on our great team and our great energy. Parents have been phenomenal, understanding. The city has come out, talked about community, school and around us. I look forward to continuous increase of student achievement and seeing, I already see it, but teachers engaging students in positive relationship building and learning, and just a great year ahead.
And so your ice cream social, I think there were hundreds and hundreds of parents there. So it has been exciting to start to see. Any questions from board members before Dr. Mejia closes? Because we have one additional school, and then we're going to talk about what enrollment looks like.
Just a quick question. Thanks for that report. Does the preschool follow the Gomez model?
Yes, absolutely. We are a K through 12 model, and K through 12, pre-K through 12 model. So yes, we absolutely follow that in preschool. So it's wonderful because there's cohesion in the whole school. When we do language of the day, it's for the whole school. When we talk about language of instruction, we are talking to the whole school. When we do morning announcements and this, that, or the other, we're talking to the whole staff.
So do most of the pre-K kids move on to kindergarten? I mean, you're almost at capacity with you've got, 86 kindergarten students, and you're at 74 pre-K students, so you're almost at capacity already. So you really need to be in pre-K in order to matriculate to kindergarten. Is that an accurate statement?
Absolutely accurate. So we have 80 spots in kinder, and we have 74 or so in preschool. So if they matriculate to kindergarten, we only have very few slots in kinder. So it's wonderful because our cohort is pretty much from preschool through kinder.
So the wait list starts in
Through fifth grade.
the wait list starts in pre-K rather than kindergarten.
Absolutely, and you can tell the difference because they have a whole year under their belt, not only school, but also the Gomez and Gomez model, the exposure to Spanish, and the model of having 2 teachers and having those transitions. Yes, absolutely, you can tell.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And our next school is Avondale West. And so we're going to ask Ranger from Avondale West to come. Now, we really are going to be talking about the enrollment overall for the district, but before we move to that, as Mr. Kipp will give us snapshots, the Avondale West team has made a number of changes, starting with the team. So we'll turn it over to Dr. Grimes, and she'll tell us a little bit about what's going on there.
Thank you for having me tonight. So as I was kind of reflecting over what I wanted to share, so some lessons learned from last year, but really the real takeaway for me was some of the successes we had. Was last spring we had our board report and we had that board retreat, and it was my colleagues who stood up and said that they saw success in their kids who were coming back, that they felt different, their climate was different in their buildings because we were there. That to me was a huge sign of success right then. So that was a big takeaway. So another lesson learned, though, for us, well, probably our number one lesson learned from last year is staffing. And that we were dealing with some really needy students, and they need adults, and we didn't have enough to start the year. So I will tell you, this year has been phenomenal. And a good reason is because of these ladies standing behind me right here. So thank you, bosses, for giving me some extra staff, because not only did I get extra staff, but I got some rock stars. I don't know how it happened, but I got some amazing people. So I'm going to introduce them, and they are going to step in front and talk a little bit about their perspective in the program where we are right now. So Ms. Bergdorf is an assistant principal and a wealth of experience coming to us, and just been phenomenal in creating some, tweaking some things that we had and just putting her spin on it, and it's been great. I also have a building intern, Ms. Bedoya, and she's helping with our high school, kind of running our high school program. And already she's got a speaker coming in tomorrow, and the climate with that high school is already, I know our student achievement's going to be higher because she's here. And then, I don't know how stars align, and the very last minute, I get Miss Andrea Watts, who is helping us with music, also a budding administrator someday, so she's helping us with our crisis intervention team. Besides doing music, besides helping with the high school and the middle school, so she's doing a little bit of everything for us, and it's been great. The relationship building skill that she has is incredible. So I'm just really excited. It's been a great start to the year, even though we had some success last year. This is going to be phenomenal this year, Topeka. So I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about last year. So our overall enrollment, the number of students that we had in our building, we had 70 students at some time during our building last year. A little bit surprising that the majority were males. We only had about a quarter of our students were females. And so that was just some interesting data that we ran. So this is kind of the total of what happened. If there's a goal that I have is to lower those transferred out numbers. So transferred out means they went to Job Corps, they went back to JDC, they dropped out, they went to virtual because it wasn't a good fit. There's a lot of reasons that go into that transferred out. And so I'd like to lower that number because I think we lost some because of that. And so we're going to a little bit more focus on individual planning, I think, this year. Again, with more staff, we can really individualize some things this year that we weren't able to last year. Move on to this year. So I'm going to let Ms. Bedoya just talk about our numbers of where we are this year.
Okay, I'm more familiar with the high school. We do have 8 of them returning, but a total of 16. We're thinking about opening a second classroom just because the numbers are increasing. So we'll have 2 high school classrooms instead of 1. And for the middle school, Ms. Bergdorf is the one taking care of that, but we have 8 of them new, and then we have one coming in as well this time.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So what you also did see there is we had some who actually were ready to go back to their singing school, but they saw success, they felt success, and so they requested to stay with us. So they are returning, even though they were ready to go back. So the last slide I have is really just the actual numbers on staff changes. I said that was one of the most key lessons learned that we have this year. And Ms. Bergdorf is going to talk about our new staff team.
Good evening. Stick the new girl with all the new changes. So that's a lot. That's a lot of staff. That's a lot of folks. It's different. It makes an entirely different feel in the building. So I will say that, yes, I'm in charge of the middle school portion of the building, but we do act as a team, so we interact with everybody. One of the main things that we've started with our middle schoolers is the support in the classroom, but also the support outside in the hallway. So as they begin to adjust and learn how they behave and how their behaviors affect their academics, we're there to support them and secure them. So that is part of creating the support team, the crisis support team. So for instance, Ms. Watts, Ms. Bedoya, myself, Dr. Grimes, if we all are needed to assist with a student so that we can help them calm down and return back to class faster, that's exactly what we do. For instance, we have a young man who probably remained in the classroom last year, most of the time less than a full class period. He's missed total, I know it's only 3 days, but he's only missed an hour of class total in 3 days. So we're already headed in the right direction. He's very receptive to what we're teaching them. We're teaching them a zones type mentality so they can tell us how they feel, and then they can learn to adjust to their behaviors and what causes their behaviors. So that's what we're doing as a team. We're excited about that. And again, we want to remind us all that the behaviors do impede their learning. And that's why they're with us at Avondale. So we're just gonna take a hands-on wraparound approach, work very closely with the school social worker to make sure that students have exactly what they need. She's part of that new support staff. She's full-time. Was she did part-time last year, or just kind of doing multiple things? So this time she's really concentrating on being a social worker and working through the crisis team. The certified teachers allow us to do not only special ed needs, but then direct instruction in math and English. We're working on all of those items as well. So we are having a great time. We're learning a lot about each other, but we are a great team and we're enjoying ourselves very much. So thank you.
Again, thank you for the opportunity to give you an update on where we are. So those are the actual numbers now, so there you can see the update. What questions do you have?
Question? Mrs.
You're very much like students who got distracted by the visuals. How many soft students we have available for our students at this point, or do you have a set number?
So we like to cap our high school classroom at 15. You can saw we're already at 16, so we're looking at to change our schedule a little bit and add a second classroom there to lower those numbers, and 10 for our middle school. Right now we have 2 middle school classrooms of 3 and 4, so we have plenty of middle school growth room. And high school, we're going to need to add another class to maybe add a few more for high school.
You said some students are already starting. Originally, we kind of used this as an opportunity when a student wasn't affiliated in the regular building, then this was another option for them. How are they starting already here without that program?
So we had a couple that were just recently released from JDC, so they're automatically starting with us. We had some referrals from last spring, and we are able to get them in now. And then we had, I think we have one suspension from a different state who came to us. And so that's kind of where some of our new members came from.
But they'll have to instill to get that student to transition back to the regular.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know some of the issues you had with inappropriate referrals that you were getting for kids who probably should have been at Cap City instead of your program. And how are you addressing, kind of working through that to make sure that doesn't happen again? Because that can throw things desperately wrong if that happens, continues to happen.
Yeah, so we learned that lesson first semester last year, that we were just, give us your masses, we'll take anybody that you have, but it's not always the right fit for us either. So the goal really is to find the right fit in whatever program in 501 meets that particular child's needs. So one of the things we implemented right away was just the observations, going to the school, meeting the student there in their sites. We can get a good idea if we had the staff and the expertise to be able to fit that child's needs. And then this year we have some different staff who have some different skill sets. I think we're going to be able to even broaden some of the skills that we had last year. And we've lowered the number of special services students, kind of capped that in, so we don't have that many students with IEPs. We have other services available for them, so this is really trying to focus on the gen ed sort of environment.
That was what I thought the initial plan was, is to be a gen ed program because of the other programs that we offer for perspectives. But I'm pleased to see that you're looking at a stronger evaluation component to admissions. And then the numbers, the percentage of the kids that you have come into the program then that you evaluate and you believe you can help, what is your expectation as to how long, how many of these kids are going to be able to move on? I think I talked to you one time and you didn't feel really good about a lot of the middle school kids being able to make that move, probably because they probably should have been in the special education program.
Not necessarily. So middle school is more difficult. And so you take an adolescent body and the craziness that comes with working with middle school students, and then you put some trauma, you put some grief, you put some loss, you put some other things in there, and they are harder. And we have to be patient, and their program takes a little bit longer for them, but the consistency Again, the added staff and skill that we have. I think we'll actually see movement quicker this year than we did last year because of that. And high school, again, and these guys have been working with them one-on-one, so they maybe have a better idea, but high school already is calmer and talking careers in college and already talking some things that we never got to at all last year. And so, again, I think the staff, the skills is better this year.
A couple of things. Curious, if you now get multiple referrals, say at high school, and you're already over full, what are you going to do?
Yeah, they'll have to be on a wait status. I'm sorry, Dr. Harrison.
You know, and,
Yeah, ask for Dr. We'll ask for more people.
Good answer. But you know, one of those pieces, we can't necessarily, we have 14,000 kids, so we know that this program really has to have some limits, or we will not make the most use of the program. However, and Mrs. Wallace and I, we were just back here talking about our expanded enrollment in virtual, and they've expanded the number of seats there, virtual education, so students can take that. We've expanded and purchased more seats in our Project Plus, which is a residential, well, not residential facility, but it's a day school. And so now we have, we purchased 15 seats there, whereas previously we weren't using that at all. So, the goal is any student that has any need has a place to go. It may not necessarily be the place Avondale West, but they do have a place, even if it's temporarily, to go until the appropriate spot is freed up. Excuse me, I do want to mention that they did home visits as well this year, which was another piece. They added a washer dryer, they're incorporating fine arts. Those are some pieces that Mr. Robbins has also added to staffing as it relates to food service, custodial support in a more expanded kind of way, or these food service in a more expanded kind of way. So those are just some additional pieces. Just really quickly on the backgrounds of these folks. Mrs. Bedoya is bilingual and has been in the district for some time, primarily elementary, having taught at 4th, 5th grade, was at the National School of Character. So character education is in her blood. And the bilingual piece is now added, which was not a piece at all that they had last year. Additionally, Ms. Watts, she's also from Kansas City, Kansas. Kansas City, Kansas, don't come get us. And actually, Ms. Watts, she watched the under her mind. She was attracted to Topeka, was director actually of fine arts in our past district. Left that position to work with Avondale West and work with Topeka Public Schools, or work with a place in East Topeka. So we're excited for that. Ms. Bergdorf has been a principal for, 10 years or so? About 10 years, and assistant principal of the year from her state and assistant principal for maybe 8 or 9 years. But prior to that, taught math at an alternative school. And she has left her state also attracted to the support that she's able to get with Dr. Grimes and the team. So when she says really kind of a rock star team in a different way, it really is a team that has a variety of talents and expertise in different areas. So we're excited about that. Anything else, Dr. Grimes, that we didn't mention that you really want to highlight that's very different this year? Ms. Watts, your voice hasn't been in the room. Would you like to add one piece for the board to hear? I saw you nodding your head about the high school being more calmer. One small 1-minute piece that you might want to add?
I'm just very excited to be a part of this team and have the opportunity to stand before you guys today. This is like a major thing. The kids that I've been working with this week are like great kids. You can see the potential in them. You can see the greatness in them. They just need somebody to unlock it. And they need strong, motivated staff members that can just be patient with them and continue to push them. So I'm happy to be a part of this team, and we're going to push these kids to the next level.
So how do you integrate music?
Oh, that's been fun. Because the kids love music, whether they understand it or not. They are realizing that music is a very important part of their lives. So this week we've been working on who are your favorite entertainers, performers, artists, and so the kids are starting to open up. And a lot of them have mentioned Michael Jackson, who's one of my favorites. And he's controversial, I know, but So the kids love his music, and that has also really opened the door for me to get them to be more open to learning about music. Next week, hopefully, we'll start doing some singing and some voice things. I have a young lady who is interested in voice lessons, and so I see her every day. So that's my goal, is to get her on some solo pieces and possibly maybe get somebody in the honor choir, because I'm sure you guys have all that stuff here. So I'm gonna just do my best. That's all I can do.
And you all, I'm sure you all know that to get kids involved in activities outside of school is very, very helpful to their, to further their education.
Yes, sir. There are no other questions for our little ones. We are excited about, one, the privilege to start the program with the board support last year, but from where we were, where we're going, and where we'll be is just fantastic. Thank you all. School reports, Mr. Kip, we'll leave a sheet for you in terms of enrollment. If you have questions for Mr. Kip, he's here, and we're here to answer that. Mr. Kip, was there anything specific that you wanted to speak to the sheet as you come to the microphone? And final numbers are down to the end of September, but this is just as of right now.
Yes, these are just very preliminary. I kind of looked back around this time last year, and we were about 13.4. And as of today, a year later, we're 13.5. I'm predicting about 13.7. It all comes on September 20th. That'll be our general enrollment, 13.7. Some of the real quick trends that I've noticed, like high school, we're retaining a lot more high schoolers now, whereas if you looked 5 years ago, we had 400 fewer high schoolers. So something magical is happening at the secondary and high school level as far as getting kids on a plane and keeping them in school. Dr. Anderson, I don't know if you wanted me to address the mental health questions.
Well, and one of the things we'll do, we'll be coming back and doing a piece on mental health. And Dr. Grimes didn't get into that much either as a side piece, because we are the pilot site for the state with a mental health wraparound service program with 6 social workers that are being added. Ultimately, our teams, 3 teams with approximately 6 folks added. But on the mental health, we're actually screening every student this year through the form of 3 questions. So we have data on some basic mental health information. If a student says yes to all 3 of those questions, then they see a counselor immediately within this first week in which they start school. And then he's also looked at the demographic from how many parents are, how many single families, and just a variety of demographics. So he'll bring that back when we have final numbers, because we're really able to see what it looks like based on who we know we have. So if you hang tight to that.
Sure.
And then we'll do a whole piece on mental health at that particular board meeting, unless you have some burning questions that you'd like to ask.
Dr. Winkles.
Thank you, Mr. Kip. One of the questions I always have when I look at the number of freshmen we have and then look at the number of seniors we have, and what happens to those that are disappeared? And I don't know that we know that, but I would love to have some sort of presentation on data. If we know what do we know, I mean, the difference between a freshman class and a senior class is 300 or so kids. And where are those kids? They graduate early, and way, but I don't know what happens to them. I just love to know.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting phenomenon that's been around for decades. And frankly, I don't know if it's exclusive to Topeka Public Schools.
I don't think it is. But
attrition does occur. Plans change. Maybe kids get off track. I'm just kind of speculating, but certainly I could dive into some of the mobility factors.
Yeah, perhaps one of the things that we'll do, when we do come back and get those final numbers, we'll just take a look at, from freshman year, the cohort analysis, and just kind of look at that cohort in terms of where different people, they go to the districts, they move, they move out of town. We do know that students who are Hispanic students, certainly with spring break, we lose a lot of those students, but in general, students who leave for spring break, a lot of times they don't come back, but at what grade levels does that impact us? So we'll pull that information as well, so we'll provide that, especially if this has been around for decades. We'll definitely give some trend analysis for cohorts.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I actually had that same thought, and I had that thought when I was in Topeka High School. We were on site council together, and we asked them, we had 600 freshmen, and we're graduating 350. What happened to 250?
Great question.
And I think we need to know that. And I know that's probably hard data to collect.
No, not at all, no.
Yeah.
And not only that, but we actually do track every student through our data consoles that we started 3 years ago. So we have a spreadsheet, where the kids, you know, where they at, who's on track, and then what happened to them. So we know principals over the last 2 years, actually, this is 3 years, very close to tracking every student. So we know we have that for 2 years. And then Mr. Kipp also tracks it and codes where some of these kids go. Some kids we might not know because they might not enroll elsewhere, they move, and they don't ask for records or something. But you know, we can definitely give you that data.
I was gonna say, this all affects our graduation rate too, right? I mean, when we lose these kids someplace along the line, that impacts our record. I mean, we look at the numbers, but they also look at how many we should have had. Not just our numbers are growing, we're graduating more kids, but how many should you have graduated? So it's important. I know we look at these things.
Just a footnote to that point you bring up is the fact that if a kid leaves our district, enrolls, let's say at Shawnee Heights, they're removed from our cohort and placed in Shawnee Heights cohort. So we're not penalized for transfers in, transfers out, but it is. The unknowns are the ones that, you know, we get records requests from Alaska, and then we realize they're up there, and the state will remove them from our cohort if they leave. So.
Are there any other questions from Mr. Kipp as we prepare to close out this first day of school report? All right, and as we conclude this first day of school report, as you know, we have had a new bus company, and they have had many opportunities this first week to continue to run around, to get people familiar with the area. But we want to turn it over to the board members if you have any questions you'd like to ask of members that are here this evening, and if not, that does conclude our reports.
I think it would be very good if we would have the bus company introduce themselves.
And if you can come to the microphone, and then if someone from the bus company can give an overview of things that you were doing to ensure that the smooth process that we know will be in place next week is in place, that would be wonderful. The microphone's right there in part so that some board members need you to project.
No problem. So, good evening. My name is Joe Coons, and I'm the Senior Contract Manager with Kansas Central School Bus. So I've been with North American School Bus for quite a while now, 8 years, and in the industry for about 30. So I have great experience in starting new districts and transportation as we progress forward here with you guys. So it has been a great learning experience for us to come to Kansas, our first big district here in Kansas. And it's been some challenges, a little bit of bumps in the road, some learning. And so I'm going to introduce my team here with me. So I have our contract manager, our local contract manager is Lee Mikas here on the corner. Then I brought in additional help from other places. So I have Joe Fessler from our business development. He's working with us this week to try to keep everything going. What's your name? Jeff Wood. He's our region safety manager. And he is here helping to make sure that we're doing everything right and getting off on the right foot. And then Anna Rodriguez is also our operations supervisor here at the local contract. So we've had a great experience over the last, what have we done, 2 months, I guess, that we've been actually working on site here. We interviewed and hired a full complement of drivers for you guys, which you didn't end the school year with last year. We actually brought on, and I know you guys saw our advertising and our commercials and all the stuff that we did, hiring events for your community. We actually hired about 46 brand new school bus drivers in less than a month and a half. some of the experiences that we have when you're a brand new person driving for the first day of school is a little overwhelming. It's probably easy to drive a bus empty, but when you load a bunch of kids on it and all of a sudden, my gosh, what's going on now? You know, we have little bumps in the road, right? And it's a big learning experience for everybody. So we were trying to be a little proactive and learn some of the routing, and we were out doing dry runs and visiting your schools and having the drivers out doing that type of experience, driving the bus empty, so that we wouldn't have as much conflict on the first couple days of school. It's pretty typical, the first couple days of school were rough. And we wanted to minimize that as much as we could. On top of that, our learning of your community and learning of some of the changes that happen, specifically sometimes last minute. I heard that like the gifted program and things are growing rather rapidly, which is great for the community. Hard when we're juggling at the last minute, time to get kids on buses and moving things around. Little small change everywhere one small change makes an impact for everybody else that is also on that route. And getting that communication out at the last minute sometimes not as easy as we'd like it to be. So we did turn on the e-link so that we could get you guys out some information about your routes and your stop times, so that your community can go to the website, and we posted the link on the district website where they actually can go and check their route times and that they didn't have in the past. It was that one mailer and then it was done. But teaching everybody to use that tool in such a short period of time, it's an ongoing process. So we look forward to partnering with you guys. We want to be your provider of choice. We want to make you successful and your kids successful, and in turn keep everybody safe and get them where they need to be on time. So we appreciate the opportunity and look forward to serving you guys in the future.
Questions, Ms. Kirk?
I would just say thank you for your eagerness to solve problems. I mean, I was one of the people that had to call Mr. Robbins yesterday, because it was my neighbor whose daughter was coming from Landon, and it was 5:30 and she wasn't home yet, and should have been home at 3:30. I guess the hardest part for her was that she didn't hear from anyone at the school or the bus company what had happened, that the bus was going to be late, that something had gone wrong. It was a new driver, and I guess they had all sorts of mix-ups. She said, we were sitting there for a while. They had to bring another bus, and so she got home a little after 6 o'clock. I was standing in the street when she finally got home. Second day of middle school, so it was, a little traumatic, because she kept saying, it wasn't my fault, it wasn't my fault. But once the parent was undone, really, she talked to me, and she was calming down and everything, but we knew the bus would be there some point, but it got there when it did, but that she had not had any contact. There was some trouble getting through, and I'm sure that because there were all sorts of other parents calling for these buses yesterday that were going to be late, but somehow that was the thing that I think was most troubling to me as a board member, that we hadn't quite figured out how to get that word to parents who were waiting for these kids who should have been there 2 hours earlier and didn't make it. So it was rather frightening. And the other thing I think that puzzled me, and I don't have an answer for it, and you may have the answer for it, is that when she asked the bus whoever she talked to in the company, well, did her daughter get on the bus? I mean, that was the other anxiety. Because she didn't have a cell phone, so was she actually on the bus? And they said they couldn't tell her that. So I don't know whether it's this miscommunication, but that was troubling. I thought we always kind of knew it. I knew the elementary school kids, we know was supposed to be on the bus. But maybe not so much for the middle school and high school, maybe not the high school kids, but middle school kids. But those are the two things that as a board member, those are the two things that were troubling for me. And I'm sure that these things have been discussed with you all, but I wanted to let you hear it from a board member too. It just happened to be she lived across the street and was running over to me saying at 5:30, my daughter's not home from school yet. So.
Absolutely. I do apologize for that. We did have some missteps, and we had a bus that got stuck in construction, and we had a bus that that got rerouted, and we actually had to send somebody out to help them get turned around in the construction, and a lot of mishaps in those things, and there's constantly those changes, but you're 100% correct, the communication needs to improve, and we recognize that as a room for us to grow place. So we are looking for solutions for you guys and for your community of how we can do that better, and we would love to partner with you or listen to some of the ideas of how you communicate with your parents on an ongoing basis, so that maybe we can adapt some of those things, and maybe we can work together and we can communicate in blast or text blast, I've heard, or those types of things. And in the future, there'll also be the app will come. That will allow everybody to kind of know where the bus is and what time. That is dependent on the route. So we knew and anticipated a little bit that we didn't want to give you a tool that wasn't going to work. How frustrating is it when you buy something and you get it and it doesn't work, right? So we were waiting for the routes to stabilize, and then we're going to slowly introduce that into your community, much like the web, the web-based stuff, because it's all learning and teaching everybody how to use it appropriately. So we're going to take baby steps into that water so that we keep everybody on board. But again, if there's things that we can do or partner together, we would love to do that with you guys and learn how you communicate with your parents on a daily basis when things need to be communicated. So, I can work very closely with the District 501 Transportation and the members of the board and the administration to find out what we can do to improve that. I truly agree that needs to happen.
Well, thank you. I mean, I just want, I feel good about what you're doing and that you're working, that your willingness to work with us and solve these problems. But I also want to make sure that you heard where the issue was. We know problems come up. That's just inherent in the transportation system. I don't know how to get it figured out as it is, so we appreciate your help. Thank
No
you.
problem. I appreciate being here. Thank you for having me.
Other questions? All right. Well, we look forward to less bumps.
No problem. We're in smooth operator here.
Very good.
Thank you. Appreciate your help. Have a good evening.
That really closes out our first day of school report. I think it was the only school that hasn't opened is TCAL, which we are proposing a ribbon cutting at the second meeting in September, and having a ribbon cutting at 4, and then the board meeting would start, at its normal board meeting time, the closed session would start at its normal time. But as you look at that date, Dr. Morrison and Ms. Kirk suggested having board meetings at schools more often, perhaps once a quarter. In that vein, the TCAL students will be the ambassadors to help show people around. And prior to the students starting, Mr. Robbins is planning for a sneak peek for reporters when the building is still empty. But they'll also be invited to the open house. So the second meeting in September, the second board meeting in September, is like the 20th, September the 20th. At that, as okay with the board, we'd like to proceed with that. And we are considering doing ribbon cutting at 4. That gives people 4 to 6 to walk around, but we would be up at 4 to perhaps 5:30, and we would go into closed session as we normally would. And then you can say all of our schools are then fully functional, and Shaner and all of the other preschools will be open by then as well. So a future board meeting months later might be held at Shaner to allow people to see that. Is that okay with the board to proceed with that second meeting? And then this would be the graphic that's out, except the picture would be a little different because we'll take photos of kids in TCAL. That picture is just a placeholder. That concludes our report.
Very good. We are ready to move forward. Board comments. Reverend Williams passes. Dr. Madison.
It was a fun event to attend school, first day of school at Randolph, Stout, and Meadows, and I feel guilty that I didn't carry an umbrella out to the street and help people come in. I didn't have an umbrella myself, and Mr. Kip loaned me his, excited children and faculty and staff here to learn and teach and help our students. So, thanks for that opportunity.
We are bored of few words tonight. I just have one question. When I was at Williams last week, it appeared to be chaotic because they were working so hard to get the board in. I assume that's been done.
Remember Williams, you went to Williams?
Yes, yes.
It's looking good. Good.
You want to say something nice about Williams?
I always say something nice about Williams. I'll always have nice things to say about Williams. I am an original Williams fan. It looks nice. I just had to get used to a different type of floor.
I totally agree. The other thing, I just like the board to realize, the health committee, district health committee, has several visit teachers on that committee. And one of the things we were pushing is, Dr. Grimes on that committee, pushing activities for kids to get their heart rate up, aerobic activity. And Mr. Nick Gardner has taken that and embraced that. And so when I was over at Quincy, he is about ready to put up a great big screen. He's got the all the software, et cetera. He's going to have kids wear devices to measure their heartbeat. They're going to exercise and they're going to see their heartbeat up on this big screen, so that they, they'll be competitive. They want to get their heart rate up. And so I'm very, very curious as to see how that goes for them. So other than that, I enjoyed my time in elementary schools as well. I'm glad to hear that high school stuff on this one. So I'm going to take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Any discussion? Ready to vote?
What is that?